Good morning, Tona. Once more, early morning session, the early morning coffee. You know, fit miss if you know what me on it, go get on near you, take pen and paper, learn something new. It worth it. It worth it. Learn something new. If I just lay down soon no more, I need to do anything with my potential or my talent, I go feel like see the waste. I go feel like see the waste. You know? But at least I do something for create a difference. And myself always they learn something new. Big up to now once more way to drain me. All my neighboring countries there, the diaspora, Europe, UK, say United States, Canada, etc., etc. Big up to now, more fire this morning. You know? For all in our sick bed, we still determined for work. Still determined for work. And then work there, what they do, not all the time what the news come. Forgive now. At times, now we need for creates the news. Now we need for creates the news. You need to wait for news for take place. You know? Same thing with employment. If the hire you just now for go be a manager or a supervisor in a company, they will expect you for use your initiatives there. Not to all things for command tell you. At times, if you think of something, you say like implement this. Because at this we need for do for make progress. You need for be creative. So at the show now, me attributes them being creative. You know? Big up to that once more. But before we start this early morning session, before we take una pen and paper them, why make una smile small? You know? Why make una smile small? And I want to start first with Allah. I want to start first with God. You know? Biblical. Before you understand man, if you seek for understand Allah. If you want to understand mortal man, seek for understand Allah. Where you know Allah, you wait for notice or understand mortal man them, they become clearer. You know, with wisdom. So seek ye for understand Allah first. Before you want to understand man. Una waking starts for be good, or when them born you start good. Most of una can end up bad. Your attitude go bad towards the world. Your behavior go bad towards the world. Your characters then go bad towards the world. Your personality go bad towards the world. I wonder if love go for the inside your heart as you progress. Una waking starts good. The good always return to bad. But the bad, when you start some bad, now it turn to good. When them people are here, the divine sources them, the gods them, they use. They wonder what they don't condemn, say na calf free them. And they can turn good. And they can do good. And they can teach good. And they can lead good. Because they get bad experiences them. And they don't want another light again. They want positivity. So if you see Charles mostly is the challenge himself every day. Because once before I be used for the who side dark. I be used for the who side bad. And not be to think of nothing. One fear not be in my mind. You know? One thing back I go disperse to now before we continue. The best place we say defend read money or book money or people that will get sense. Believe me what I tell you so, now inside prison. Inside prison, now there you go find the book money, where get sense, where like for read. Where you able to read and understand what's in the read. You go meet somebody in a prison, they go able to elaborate to you about the whole law, about the whole judiciary, about any topic where you want to discuss because ain't get time for read. Well, once ago, long time ago, now they I begin practice me reading abilities them. Now they I fall in love with reading inside jail. Then go say now inside jail, you go condemn yourself. Now they go become worst. At times, they go become perfect. When you come out now, you ready for the world. So Bamba Kayaka not all time bad. It all depends how you look at them. Now let me continue. This year, inside Saloon, graduation going to take place. Now me talker. The university first way to forget this graduation. Now, Mami cost university. Now, me creator. Because we need that inside Salone. Mami cost university. And we get students them like Adabayo, the first one. Kaseda Kitchen, second one. Julie Tombo, the third one. Fantasial, the fourth one. Awanatsu, but Demboku. All them students say get for graduates this year after election. After election, they all go for graduates. Mami call students here, Mami call speaking them. Then a cost no more than Sabi. They not come for depict anything positive in the media. But every day na Mami cost they go the Lego. But the person where they try for create a difference. Now me una elect for attack. Oh, now continue. Now continue no more. We'll get one of we comedian also. This guy make us smile in this day. You know, the way they capture you, man, he make like say, now beats one beater. I forget this we comedian in name. But one call him Baba Sheikh. You know, he always gets the Imori man things there. It's a nine which Kaseda Kitchen for the cost boku. Now you go with ya. Now you also which Adabayo for the cost boku and for go against government. This guy don't really cause problem. This we comedian. It's a nine which Edsa for not forgetting give me light. Even 2 o'clock in the morning, then just the turn off light. Rain camo, rain no camo, thunder no camo. Then bound just for take light. Now a comedian ain't costing so. I don't know if it's not factual. But big up to that. Mami cost. Graduation they take place. Then cost there, then cost speaking there, cost students here. We go for joining together with the chief man. The politicians are now, the one back within at the civil war now, where they do bad now. We all the graduates this year after election. Now that's when I talk. Big up to that. Intel. This not just my introduction. How we start so right now, not just the introduction. Intel or intelligence. Even what they talk so, nothing said Tasmo can done the plan and go. I can get what it can incite me. And what it can incite or push Tasmo, I go tell you say, not divine. Because myself, some things in the way I can discuss, I can wonder how it can come about for me for discussion. So if not divine, I wonder now what it. You know? Big up to that. Intel or intelligence. Man or humans them gets this concept or get this belief that now we no more are the only intelligent creature in the world. Now not to worry about who that creates the apes them, the goats them, the cow them, the monkey them, the spider them, the flies them, the ants them, etc., etc. Because all them things in the way created and get their own peer. But humans and beliefs in we are the greatest intelligent creature being created. But they don't believe that the gods then creates we. So the battle now science versus religion, or science versus the gods them. Or we can say science versus Allah. But I remember that. But not so we are the only intelligent creatures them. Every creature within divine sources they are create, then divine and intelligent in their own way. No creature no day will not sense danger. The moment where you sense danger, they back off and they run. That don't show you say enough food. No creature no day where you're hungry, you need to go fenna. If they need to go hunt, they go hunt. No creature no day when they care for their own name. Pass some snakes them. Snake, the reason why make snakes they can do that, when they lay egg, they need for disappear because their nature, the way I then creates it, the way I then creates them. Men not go eat their own. So what snake don't lay egg, and not say this egg they can't hatch, and they go. Because you know what eats their own. But when they say all thing they care for their own. Tell me if that's not intelligence. Tell me if that's not divine. How the apes can also hold them baby them. Like how we Motsaman can hold we baby them. You know? Tell me if that's not intelligence. I just want to ignite to our brain this morning. For learn, for go against science. Respect science based on medicine them, but we can't do any divine thing. Always go against science, because they go always corrupt you. Now just me introduction. Now let we start the topics them. What they can discuss this morning? Some of them know they think of it. This first phase go lead me to the second phase. Sea war, Russia, China versus United States and NATO. Then, the next topic go be on Venezuela. Inside salon right now, if you see Baku money in the street, all man they run for go take her. All man they run for go get her. If you see Baku money laid on the street. Well, inside Venezuela, now the people in it away their own money. Because their money not valuable. We will discuss that. And that gets to deal with inflation. But there's a different concept on inflation I want to let you understand. And this topic here this morning, I hope say we stakeholders them, ministers them, etc. will now also tune in for listening. This go add to your knowledge for capacitate we countries them inside Africa. Big up to that. Big up to that. So now we say US and NATO versus China and Russia. What's in on torment NATO? That's what I want to put on. What's in on torment NATO? Before on previous topics them, I always give precautionary advice to with the Africans them. We go for take time with NATO. Because one day go come back, we then go face kind of nonsense to we for colonize we again. For subject we again. But that's not the topic for now. Now we continue. Well, NATO, we are not the world most powerful military forces them, not the world. The alliance is them the major. So we come to the sea, the Pacific. The one that we're able to control the Pacific, usually able to run the world. Well, what's that me want to tap to now? Or what's that I want to make you understand? With all them warships they are, what they don't create. The biggest of the biggest. Then still, they panic. So what's in this they try to tell we? Sometimes, not so what's in big, they conquer. That smallest thing can conquer what's in major. You gotta believe in that. You gotta believe in that. Not so bigger things always they conquer. Bigger things, then they therefore become visible. But that smaller thing, they able to penetrate. Now let me understand. Then get so many battleships them, now they see, with conventional weapons them, or missiles them. Conventional. What do you mean conventional? Missiles them, one man for create, we not for go out of the extraordinary. Anything out of the extraordinary, a disaster for humankind. You know? So you got to follow them principles there. Anything when a conventional agreement, if we follow suit, well, now let me continue. We know say the Americans and they follow suit. Because now they go put laws and policies them. Now then go create and add back more laws and policies them. Create and add. Add to what thing go fit their own purpose. Remember that. So with all the mighty things they are wouldn't get to the sea, then still they afraid China and Russia. Why? Because of the drones there. We discussed that last year. I begin to enforce because last year I started my page. All my just think say drones them, not toy, or not team for going videotape, or just get shots them. People don't know they think say people or militaries they go for use drones them for war. And not take long, we begin seeing it kind of effect. But anyway, now them biggest fear this. Drones. They get the biggest ships them, warships them. All kinds of ships them. All kind of military might. But you can't fret the smallest thing we then just create lately. The smallest thing we then create lately. Now, let me continue. Also, another thing what NATO they fear, what China get, and China they probably build more to come, or maybe more powerful than what they get so far. The Chinese, them hypersonic missile. The Chinese are hypersonic missile. They call it the DF-ZF missile. This hypersonic missile, it go further than the distance within they think. It focus on a target. It's not easy for become eliminated. Now a major threat for NATO, this hypersonic missile. Now let me continue. So the US now defend all kind concepts or idea for counter then drones there. And this missile. Now, we start to try for lead to. Let me see if sense they are watching the Americans or NATO, they do. If sense they do. Then ships there, it costs billions and billions upon dollars for build. Billions. Each missile, now millions. One missile, maybe now 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10. It all depends. But now millions for create them war things they have for destroy humanity. Millions now they spend. People and they die every day by poverty. But they spend millions for create mass weapons them for destroy. Or weapons of destruction them. You know, people that were supposed to be sensible enough say, let we counter or stop for create them creations they are, because we want humanity for prosper, for grow, for become more divine and positive. And then still they develop, they create, but one put a halt or a stop to other nations there, not for be creative. But we now always want to be creative. And at this we now remember, the uniqueness about Motsaman, we are always creative. Now that's a start with Tasmo being creative. Motsaman, we bound for being creative. Unless you know what your brain don't die. You not get any use again. You not get nothing again for create. Or nothing for think of. But you want your brain active. You get something for think of, something for create, and positivity for continue for push, for create a change within the world. Well, then we for lead that. They need to lead that. Ever since the Genesis, that sinful idiots them. Now, let me continue. So now, they don't create a countermeasure. What's in them called laser. Let me see if this could make sense. When I don't build the biggest warships them, well, all man now for panic, all man for fear, but for all what soon I get, una still the fear because of drones. Now, they say they will go invest back for create laser system. Because the panic is, if China plan for release 10 drones, say, maybe 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 drones then go attack how many ships them at the same time. You get able to bombard all them drones and they one time? No. Them missiles they wouldn't get and them boats they get able to shoot 10 drones there? No. Now waste of money for us for use missiles them for bombard drones them. Waste of dollars them. It don't make any sense. So they want to create a countermeasure for create lasers them. The things say lasers them will be the best option for knock off them things there. That's possible again. Well, I feel like you know say the white man don't get too much sense. They like for test low, they like for try, they like for be optimistic, but them back, now practice no more than they practice. Let me try, let's see how far would they go. Now let me continue. So there things they are, what the white man creates, then say it will cost cheaper. It will be more cheaper. Then later there it will be between $1 to $10. So if they use themselves doing war, and it will be expensive as then they stated. Now lie. Because for build first the technology, not to $1 to $10. It will cost. It will cost millions and millions upon dollar for create first the technology. Now, for use the lasers there, well, since you don't create the technology, I don't think say it will cost much again for shoot the laser because now beans them. You know? But the technology, it costs. But for many and full you continue for full mankind, then when they present information, they will make it look sweet. Well, that laser there, it could just cost we $1 to $10. So under the taxpayer, they will continue for pay on money and never ask any question inside the United States or Europe. Let me continue. So, the life owner, but the cost of them things there, it will be more, it will be reasonable like coffee safe. All that's not lie. Anyway, this technology, it not create any major spark per se, like a missile, where you cast them off. You know? This technology, also they become powered by a nuclear reactor. And when I need for no say, most of the ships there, then what ships there, then get nuclear reactors them. Nuclear reactors them, where can allow them ships there, for them at the sea or the ocean or the Pacific, for 5, 10, 20 years, they not ever need for refuel safe. They not even need for refuel. The only time where they need for turn back and go back, maybe for go get more weapons them. But if they be loaded no more with weapons them, they don't need for turn or go back now the States. They can then at the sea or the Pacific as long as they want. 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years if they want. Because now nuclear reactors them, they generate power. Power for sustaining things there. For move them boats there or then ships there. They don't need fuel. Now let me continue. So, then laser there, where you shoot a laser for attack an opponent, not to explosion. Not to any spark or explosion. You know? Then laser there, they create what we call intense heat. Now heat upon heat. Heat that anything with them points and power, if for melt, if for burn, if for can down. Now heat and laser they produce intense heat. And we will get to that. And they turn energy into ammo. Or armor. Energy. Electricity. Or whatsoever. And they turn energy into ammo. It's just like when you get the missile where they shoot, one of the ammo down there where they go counter. Well, the energy, that laser where they shoot, and the ammo down there, for go counter or conquer, we say now. Now let me continue. And they travel at the speed of light. Then laser they are. Travel at the speed of light. Now let me continue. And also they track unpredictable weapon system. Weapon system when unable to assess, unable to understand. Then lasers they are go track them and mash them up. Now let me continue. And they fire about 1,000 to 10,000 lasers them at once. So if they see boku things them, then at the air, or then drones there, they can able to shoot about 1,000 lasers them, to 10,000 or more, but just try to eradicate some things there. But a meaningful, it will work. Now we question that. In 2014, NATO or the United States, they do a test case, we come to the lasers there. Their first installation on a naval or a naval ship, in 2014, they installed one by the naval ship them. In 2019, more upgrades to this weapon, this laser weapon. In 2022, they installed a permanent one, on a destroyer, a ship destroyer. They installed a permanent, laser, on a ship destroyer. The Navy. And this one what they installed 2022, and they fire 60 kilowatts of laser. 60 kilowatts. The heat so 60 kilowatts. Well, me I not to know them wax. They wax or wax things they are. We can't to technology or power. When I work in NPO, when I for understanding things they are more better than Tasmo. But anyway, I get small knowledge. Now let me continue. 60 kilowatts. And they upgrade it again to 150 kilowatts. And this will be useful enough for knock off them drones there. Or maybe them small missile where they come out from them ship them. Because even them missiles where they come out from them ship them, if you send them, then laser they are able to deter them. Able to deter them. Well, how they continue? The Navy still not satisfied. They say this 150 is small. 60 would have been first installed. And then they go no side, too small. They need about 300 kilowatts. But make sure say anything where they come for attack them fleets they are at the sea, they be able to counter. Well, something to maybe also counter what we call the hypersonic missile from China. In 2024, they plan to say by 2024, they're going to get an upgraded, maybe 300 kilowatts or more for their weapons there. Drones now, or their hypersonic weapons there now. By 2024, they don't get something where for able to mash up anything. But now let me continue. And then they only work. Then call this weapon here the Hellcap. HELCAP. Why make them for use the word Hellcap? If them people they are godly, not just me use them. Then create a weapon and say this now Hellcap. When they go bombard Japan and say Hiroshima. When allow we continue. And this hypersonic weapon here, one thing I want to understand, laser not going to be able to put on down so easily. This weapon what China they create, laser not able to put on down easily. Because it able to withstand a temperature up to 1,700 degrees Fahrenheit. Now listen carefully. If they put me at you, beside and say 1,700 degrees Fahrenheit, would they burn till turn to charcoal? But that matter itself, with a scatter. 1,700 degrees Fahrenheit. But this hypersonic missile, they withstand the heat. Don't forget, say, laser, na heat ink out. Heat. When them points a laser per you or per anything, if for melt, if for burn, if for conquer, if for disturb, if for deter, and first and canon. Well, some weapons and they, it's not easy for let the laser work for them. Because them back gets almost the same attributes them. But anyway, this hypersonic, the 1,700 degrees Fahrenheit, and able to withstand almost anything. It's not easy so for stop. When they launch them, if I go direct to target. So if they mistake launch 5, 6, 10 of them things there, 1 of them miss, 2 of them miss, 3 of them miss. So if America don't spend billions and billions upon dollar for creates the most massive ship in the sea, the most massive weapon in the sea, now the smallest thing don't threaten them. Drones. Where they make the NEPA spend back excess of money for create lasers them because of drones. So now my own question in this about with intelligence. They think say they're intelligence. Now smartness this bar. Now my own question is, now smartness this. You create laser for countering things there. The Chinese them or the Russians them creative. They will create something else for counter what you back don't create. How long they will continue for the spend or waste money per things them what they will use at war or for war or destroy humanity? How long will they spend money when I waste? All people and they suffer, food no day, meals no day, beginning they go school, the basic no day, clothes no day, somebody have shoes no day. The world they suffer at large. Then just the waste money per weapons them. Just for control the world. It make any sense? It make any sense? Well, now we continue. Too much stupidity. The one day we can think say they're smart. The too much stupidity now pass smack for them. You know, that make them go for spend back more for create. Because if nobody pass stupidity, you go to prevent. You go to prevent, you go to settle scores them. You go to avoid problems them. You go to worry about your own peace and your own comfort. But all the time, you're going to offend, go and create issues there. Well, you never ever be peaceful. You never ever be peaceful. You know? You never ever be peaceful. Because the stupid things about what someone gets for retaliate. For retaliate and for payback. What someone one thing never ever left me. For retaliate and payback. And not easy so for forget. But now let me continue. You know? So there's small things there don't create obstacles them for the bigger things them. So for you, we always think say the bigger you are or the bigger things are, you're protected, you lie by yourself. Now like contextualize this to my own way, now small. Like some of you work around rush gonna big studio, go waste 5, 6, 10 million. You think say you go get a hit, you lie by yourself. Maybe now when you can't to Tasmo, we're small, now you go get a hit. Because me they try to push me on weight, for go up. So I will give you my best. But you want a bigger studio, I'm not too concerned about yourself. Now your money no more they will take. And give you nonsense. And you get this stupid mentality to say, the bigger studio I go, now the more advanced I become. Now lie. That smallest side, now you can create greater things still. Remember that. Well, let me continue. Word for the wise. Word for the wise. So we don't conquer than the small. Let me clear than the small. When I make you always believe say the white man is smart. Well, I would knock history on a small more. You know? Then system the all what they get. Don't forget to say then copy them from with the African system. All in systems them. Now that's now they can tackle so we can to Venezuela. And what we'll conclude is we'll first scan the African history inside small. Small. For we get some. Because now make it lost. You know? I make sure see why they cheat you. You understand. I'm not going to pass smack them. I'm not going to make them too lily. But you forget them. You forget them. Then trading systems they are. What do they talk of trade? Trade. Business, commerce. Now they talk of trade. All them trading systems they are, what the white man, the capitalized part today, what the white man thinks that they create, they can copy and learn from we. Business that be inside Africa. Now we be get a system. Now we be they go now different countries them and do trades. But then trades there, it gets what we call value. Value, as time progresses, then value there converted to currency. Money, paper money. But before the value, not be gold. Or any other value what you get, we go parallel or match up to what's in you want trade. For example, with the African system. Maybe if you want to go buy land, in those days, maybe if you get 3 or 4 cows, the value, the amount, or maybe it will be the same to the land where you want to go buy. So you don't need cash. Now me 3 or 4 cows, I go give, forget me land. I want to make you understand first, you know, the best system before we continue the talk about Venezuela. You know, currency. If for equal or equivalent to the value of what you trade on or what you trade for. Now their gold come in effect. You know, what will the Africans also be used for do trade? Gold now be a major commodity. You know, gold can buy beaucoup things there. You know, goods now, whether now food, livestock now, or you want to go married now, or whatsoever. You know, now a wealth, now a sign of wealth. Gold. So what's in the white man do? What's in the white man do? Then we get what we call a gold standard a conventional too. This not be a conventional agreement. Now be a gold standard conventional agreement. When I first begin bust up or fuck up, excuse me language, before we even talk about Venezuela, inflation, they stick now you eat. Why make inflation not good? Why make inflation not good? Why make inflation again not good? Let me repeat that. Inside around 1983, the year I was born, Germany, and they first begin to fuck up. The Germans, them, doing World War I. And they first begin to fuck up. Well, let me get Boku gold. And when I know say all in gold they are or diamonds they are, now from with the Africans them, they can't thief, they can't take, they can't do trade. Say they begin to thief with people and go to their slaves. When they first come to be the Africans and I trade they do. Because they not be no nothing of gold. They not be get nothing stuff. Now whiskey and weapons and no more them be they make. We now will be very creative and inventive. Then can do trade. Well, we'll begin to exercise again and we go small. They don't see who send out the money there. Then come and conquer, we begin to take with gold, take with people them, and abuse we, run over we. Now that's a do. Well, then gold there, I don't state this before. If UK today, not the Yagba, forget any major commodity. Even if they need to produce basic things then for the people and they eat coffee, cocoa, yams, this, milk, that. Then get something we go always make sure that their currency become vibrant and stable. What's not that? And then gold them or diamonds they what they don't thief from we. Then gold and diamond they go always make their currency stable. And the stupidity this what we the Africans can do. What we get, we sell give them. Then when they get them, they take them, they melt them, then store them. Take them, melt them, and store them. Because one day, if the currency begin to depreciate, then get something where they go use for trade, which is gold. Gold for first come back the currency up. And this the African leaders there, not they think of. Now let me continue. So inside World War I, the currency begin to depreciate. This convention would all man be don't agree to. Well, think they may need more money, for sponsor the war. They won World War I. So what's they do? Then say, forget the agreement, say, oh man, we'll get the machine them. Let we print real money here. Let we print real money. Let we print as much money as we want. Let we see if it will affect Twiba. Well, they not be no say it will affect them. They not be ever believe say it will affect them. So they begin to print massive money. Billions and billions of currencies them. For sponsor the war. Well, who's another thing can turn for them? Now, what the war done? Germany want do trade. If you want buy oil, for example, if you want buy oil from Salon, then we Salon, trade, with 1,000 lions, it be equivalent to the Germans them 1,000 lions. I make you understand this so. If the 1,000 lions will be equivalent to the Germans and 1,000 lions, will not be the same for buy oil or bread. Now, since you don't print so much money, you don't get better gold again or whatsoever, you can buy this bread here. Well, now my own side inside Salon, this bread or oil will still remain 1,000 lions. But to you, just because of you don't get any value again and your currency not gets value, you go begin to pay maybe 5,000 lions. If not take time, 10,000 lions. If not take time, 100,000 lions. While other people they still just to spend 1,000 lions for the same product. You now 100,000 lions you never spend because you don't abuse your currency. Your currency not meaningful again. Your currency not gets any sense again. See, money stop nonsense, but this currency, you're not going to stop on it any nonsense. Now, more nonsense to the place. I don't get serious. I make una smile small boo. You know, so that's what they talk of, the value of capital stem and value of things stem, where you get produce or where you get out your country, where you go able to do trade with, we're going to make sure say we get what we call the equilibrium, a balance, an equilibrium, a balance, a balance. Example again, if gold now don't cost 50,000 leons, the Germans say they got to spend 1 million leons for buy gold for me. So things now way for go inside Germany, not easy game for go inside Germany. Because the currency on low, not able to buy Nazi again from the neighboring countries there, or other countries there for do trade. So now who that ain't go for suffer? Now the Germans them, the people them. Because bread now, wait for spend 1,000, bread don't go to 1 million. Now so 1 million go, but kuso na you pala, but not small money, not nothing. Not nothing. What to the other country, the other man, not just 1 grain leaf. You don't get some bokuna in pala, but 1 grain leaf, they bang, a bread. But you know, you get about 50, 100, 1,000 bundle of money, where you go for put some power, one big bag, for go buy just 1 grain bread. Now this is the talk of inflation, where your currency not get any more value. Any more value. No value. And you not get nothing again in within your country like gold, diamond, you need to produce cocoa, where you go say, well, now me no more they produce cocoa. So this cocoa now they produce, the world need them, una need them. So since una back they tax me, myself go tax una heavy for compensate me loss. If you don't get anything where they produce, and if you don't get anything they offer, well, we don't suffer. Now I make are they afraid for Salome? Are they afraid for Africa alone? We don't encounter any things there. They measures there. When that separate take place inside Venezuela. Venezuela, you give person money, it is too. It is too give. If they see people and they sit down by motor car, they go and throw money. Because the money not valuable. What's invaluable inside Venezuela? Go pull rest, give them. They go touch you. Go pull bread, give them. Then go touch you. Go pull oil, give them. Then go touch you. And don't forget to say, Venezuela is one of the countries, this also, one of the major oil producers in the world. But things are not can work for them. The time where oil price they can down, now losses for them. Because they're not saying what they produce. Even inside Middle East, they back to produce oil. So unless nobody the producer, now you go say I will capitalize. So what prices can go down, you are the producer, now you they suffer. But if the prices then go up, you as the producer, now you don't knock jackpots too. You know? So Venezuela, this oil what they get, at times, it fluctuates. It fluctuates. Now this is the only commodity, the only investment before, until recently, well now, they don't begin to invest on cocoa or coffee bar with some other things still, not just oil. Because they need revenue streams still. They need something, what them back when they sell to the world, what then go they capitalize by, we go add to their own value. So then currency go match up to other countries and your currency. Inflation is bad. That's what you for tolerate. And it's so bad that now, all the one them, what they control, what should be the talk of price control, because they are like body now, are the same one we can thief from me and you. Now they create or they control price. The Americans still, the Europeans still. Now this China they compete with. Now this China they allow the US or NATO for conquer the entire world. When they become creative, when they capitalize, you know, when I get certain assets, them or values them, we'll back will begin to add value to the contents them. You know, let the world need China. So before I buy it to America, call we will sell you now. If them things in the money, then they create, we back able to create the same things then, or maybe better. Competition. a very good competition. Now, inside salon, no more competition not good because the system or the lack of knowledge or education, them big format money I can put to be in. Big format money I can put to be in. Now, no value what to be called competition. But competition is valuable, so one great person will get the absolute power for control the price or any goods them, at the world. Why you give that power there to one person? Just like Shadow they talk about people that where they import gold, silver, and salon. They get only one person where they import gold, silver. So now in about they put in your price. If you want you buy, if you want you not buy left to you. Because now in the only importer. That's what I want. So again, now let me continue. Now we continue and make sure say when I get the picture clear. The quality of money, the quality of money in circulation to the quality of goods in service. The goods in service, make sure say no more where your goods and service them up to date, a day in need, you go always capitalize. But if the money they circulate, you get small and you don't get any goods, any services, well, a disaster. A disaster. So the quality of goods and services, the price could go down. The price could go down if the money they go up. But if the money they can't down, the price could go up. I hope so you understand that. So now, inside Venezuela and all the other countries them, since we don't get all the obstacles there with the government systems them, inflation there at high pace, things are not beginning to neutralize slowly, gradually, starting 2021, 22, 23, since 1983 actually, since 1983, there have been the first and difficulties there. Now recently, things NEPA transform small, because the NEPA creates, commodities them, but make sure the NEPA able wholesale or market to the world, and the NEPA change the currency them. So now almost the same thing what we present to this BNTM, but the currency, so far, we're not going to say we don't have inflation or deflation, but now the goods them, of the world price, and that's make we experience what we call inflation. But we get internal goods what they create, well, prices are not for inflate. But so we ourselves, we create some inflations there. So we ourselves, we create some inflations there. If we be the import, we they buy out, then we can't try for add, the price. I can understand that. But things that they produce within our own locality, if we're able to control them price and they, for the good of society. For the good of society. But inside Africa or the world at large, at the time that people also want to capitalize. Even what thing would they create in within with locality, the moment our price go up or the dollar go up, or the currencies and come down, will they blame our inflation. So what do you produce now? You tag onto the dollar for make more money, for capitalize. And that's we all experience up to now. So Venezuela, they perfect for come out from this sickness or from this cause. We hope say alone, we don't ever experience this. Well, luckily, there's still a management. The Europeans are still a management. Any president who have mistakes say one can print no more money, so it's not very easy. You got to deal with the European stem. But imagine now if we not get the European stem for monitoring. Imagine. How many presidents if we don't come, if we don't print massive money, but they tell you remember, with currency don't get less of a value. Less of a value. They go back now for the trade money. For the trade money, for going to make it rain because the money not important again. Now the goods are not important. So now you make what they can talk say agriculture. Land for produce what you they eat. A very essential for me in Africa. For plant rice, plant cassava, corn, cocoa, yam, etc., etc. A very important for the livelihood. Because the day one day, the world market or the world price, they increase, and some African countries not they do good as much. They increase, we're not going to be able to buy from them. We're not going to be able to do trade with them. And trade a part of life. If I'm not able to do trade with Liberia, no problem for me people in a saloon. If I'm not able to do trade with people inside Guinea, no problem for me people in a saloon. I got to do trade for me people and survive. So with the beg when I do where they lead we. When I'm going to think of them things there. It's very important. Because people only understand when they talk say inflation or the price don't go up. Not to know more the price to go up at times. Now the nonsense what we leaders there and within the country don't do, that also can add to the inflations. And never forget say, prices there always will continue to go up. Things are not going to ever change. Things they become more fruitfuler. You know? Fear not going to always be, for example, $10 no more. Let us say from 1983, fuel will be $10. 2003, 2023, fuel will be $10. Not lie. From 1983, if fuel will be $10, now we're there 2023, fuel must go there $20 because the price must increase. Things and they change. Value that they become added to. We need for to think of them things there. We need for beginning to think of them things there. Where they can thief 12.5 million Africans them, or maybe more. Okay, go to the diaspora. People are not be to think. Valuable assets and they will go so overseas. Not just the minerals, they go. Workforce. Humanity. You know? So with a beg now for help for educate the youth man. Some them go think say education not paramount. Why make education paramount again? In the dark ages them. When that's make people them suffer. In the dark ages them. Not to all man be learn. Not to all man be understand. Not to all man be the read and write. Not to all man know about the divine. So the one they will know, now them be they control the world. You need to take advantage of education. Then you can take advantage of education. Without education, there will be so many gangs. Now gang activities no more. Now cabal business no more. Now group business no more. Now war business no more. Because illiteracy not going to ever lead you to positive thinking. But illiteracy will always lead you to war. Illiteracy not going to ever make you think positive, but negative. Because you don't know better or how to know better. When Allah will take advantage of them things there. The world now is circle. Today, they say the people not be civilized. Well now, we don't civilize past the dark ages still. But we don't become more worse than the dark ages still. We don't become worse. We civilize so, we don't civilize wonderful one, but we don't become more evil or eviler than those days. Because those days will not be get weapons of mass destruction. For go kill an entire city, you back, you go for sense of Germany, not so all man go come. Some them go left. Even when they come for can capture with black Africans inside Africa, yeah. Not so all the white man go back home. Baku die na this ground here. Baku die. Baku no go back. Baku no go back. But now, they go there far, they just launch a weapon, boom, don't destroy. So tell me, now or then, whose time way bad? Whose time way bad? Then they say we don't civilize. We don't civilize by evil acts. And that we don't civilize by. And also don't forget that humans them very adaptive. And when they evolve. Evolve means we bound for growth and change. And we can become adaptive. And no matter how you put smarter man, and they will adapt. Pass if anyone adapt. Can you go smarter man inside hole? As long as you get something for it inside it, it will adapt for survive inside that only. Smarter man bound for adapt and bound for evolve. Not just think, say, much man go just this number, not adapt to nothing. So then threats they are, we come to war, US, NATO versus China and Russia, and don't make any sense. Any sense. Because when you threaten China, China go find way for adapt to your threat. And they go find way for evolve to your threat. Same thing to us with this nas alone. When you find way for money, the weak people or the poor people or the one they will not get, then go learn for adapt. They go learn for evolve. Tell one of them turn by your ass, now you go know something. Tell one of them turn by you. Now you go know something. So if you just think somebody go do this, the one day they're not going to understand, they're not going to ever adapt, well, we bound for adapt, yeah? We bound for adapt. Like make the one who left inside Babel think so we can't salo, we can't die quick. Now you are born. Go adapt. If you think that you born, adapt to them now. When I are born, go adapt. You know, we're going to discuss more topics here. I need for short this down. I'm not born on a credit here. I want to add small history, but this we're going to touch on a different episode. We'll get a female, an African, a ruler, a queen, or a king. You know, it don't matter. Now, a ruler, you know, in the 1600s, you know, around, I would say, which country again? This now, if I be Angola, I be a queen inside Angola, where not take nonsense from the Portuguese them. You know, I just give an intro, I'm not continue for talk again. If I continue for talk, you will get some. I will explain it on a different episode. Now, I will again tell Muslims the servants, aka Bepeko, words for the wise, not to anything way big. They in control. Not to anything way big, they in control. Not to anything way big. Things say for fear. Not to anything way big for panic. One old Suge Knight with a face like California. Death row. The smallest guy. A left punch past Suge Knight, a drop. One of the biggest guys inside California. Death row records. Small guy ain't touch no more. A drop. So size not mean anything, no. Now when I go again, Charles Muslims the servant, aka Bepeko, this World War III, a must kind to active, we must see him, a must play, with just the option see no more, and not go reach inside Africa. That's what we pray for. Let it not come inside Africa. Let it continue inside Europe. But let it not come inside Africa. We're not stay blessed.